It's a lovely, lovely day, isn't it?
It's beautiful again. Aren't we being lucky with the weather at the moment? Sorry?
We're being incredibly lucky with the weather. We're
We
being
are.
incredibly lucky with the weather.
Yeah. And I've just looked outside and we've got
Incredibly.
Woody arrived, the wood pigeon, having his breakfast. So there must be a few little, when the dew's still on the grass until the sun gets on it. So we've got the sparrow,
Yeah.
9 or 10 sparrows and a wood pigeon. So,
Well, our postman has just walked by, so that's about all I can see because the room I'm using is at the front of the house. Everybody uses the back of the house because we're back to the front house. So I don't have really nice views. And the back of the house is the railway line. So, but it's what's inside that counts.
well, do you know what? I think certainly somebody like my dad, his dream home would have been at the side of a railway line because he absolutely loves trains. So, yeah, they're always perfect for several people, aren't they?
If you're a commuter, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Definitely so close. And a huge good morning to you too as well. This is Gogglefrogs. I'm Angela. This is my wonderful friend Marion. So we're here today. Robert's working. And one thing that you're always assured of is there's probably going to be a different location that we might be in. There may be technical issues. But all you need to do is bring your knitting, bring a cuppa of something. I've got something different this morning to drink. I've got lemon tea.
Oh.
So I haven't had lemon tea in years and years and years. And I've had a jar of it, not handmade, if you know what I mean, the Lift lemon tea. I saw it in the cupboard and I thought, oh, it must only be about 4 years out of date. I'll have some of that. It's fine.
Well, guess what tea I'm drinking?
Brinktons.
You got it.
We love talking about tea. We love talking about yarn. We love talking about everything. Who knows what we'll be talking about in this show? But we'll share it with you. So just tune in if you're watching us live. Hello and welcome. Whether you're one of our old friends or newer friends, or if this is your first time, and if it is your first time with us, just let us know where you're from. If you're watching us on replay or on YouTube, we do have a chat box for people who are watching us live, but you won't be able to see that. So that's why we read out the chat comments. So, yeah. And I'll tell you about what projects I've started and stopped in the last half an hour. Because I thought, you know what? Can I find a simple project so that I can chat, present, do all of the mic and Facebook and everything else, and knit as well. And I didn't like either pattern that I was doing, or I had needle issues. So I'll tell you about that in a little while. So I'm back to the one with 82 different pattern rows, which isn't the easiest, but I am enjoying it, but I don't think I'm going to win at Yarn Chicken on this one. So it will be interesting how I try and create or edge this one. It will be really interesting. It won't be as per the pattern, but it will be a creation. So are you on something new, Marion?
Yes, I'm back on my aunt's cardigan.
Oh.
Nice and simple.
Oh.
I've done, before I got waylaid with a poncho, I've got the two fronts done, the back, and now I'm on the first sleeve.
Wow.
As it's in chunky, all being well, following wind, I'll get it sent off to her at the weekend and she will be ecstatic.
Oh, because she loved the last one, didn't she?
Oh, she did. She did.
And if you weren't here for the last one, it was all rather emotional because how old's your aunt?
94.
So she's 94. She struggles with her vision.
She's registered blind.
She is registered blind. And she wrote the most beautiful letter to Marion that I think you will treasure forever, won't you, Marion?
Oh, yes, I will.
And
you know, she really struggled with that letter, but she did it, and yeah, she's just amazing. She
wow.
asks for nothing, she expects nothing, so I'm happy to give her as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
It's just lovely, isn't it, when you can do things for people and they really appreciate it, because we can go out and we can buy so many lovely looking knitted items in shops, and sometimes they're like £5, £10 in a lot of the high streety things. But then when you go and have something custom made, if you go to one of those sites, you do know that you're going to pay £1,000 to £2,000, and we've seen some of them with the Japanese things, and that is really the value that we put on our knitted items. And when somebody appreciates it, it's just incredible, isn't it? Because we know if we factored in our time, even at minimum wage, but it wouldn't be minimum wage because all of you are just so exceptionally talented. You're near the top of your industry game, if you know what I mean. So you would be on an awful lot per hour. So it's just beautiful when somebody appreciates it. And even when I showed my little niece the cardigan, that I'll share it with you next week. It's still not quite sewn together. But I might do that today because it's got lovely light and I can only sew things up in really good light. So I might do that today or tomorrow. And just when she said, that's lovely, I thought, the fact that she loves the wool that's used. Who knows what's going to happen when she goes to school in it or puts it on and friends see it, because that's the thing where sometimes peer pressure is so key, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
It's lovely. So I can't wait to see your aunt's second cardigan. Is this the second lockdown cardigan for your aunt?
Yes, but this one's very plain, no pattern. It's just plain stocking stitch.
Oh,
but
I love those.
Yeah.
They're so effective. When you wear them, something that is just simple stocking stitch, you look at the order of those stitches and you look at how the wool looks as well. And I love plain knitting, I really do, and I'm doing this at the moment, which isn't plain at all, but I just love the plain cardigans, and I don't think there's anything better than, you know, a 1940s 1950s style pattern. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to be delighted to get back to something with some sort of, not design, but something intricate on it, even if it's shapings or something like that, you know. Even if it's my crocheted shawl again, I've got to really concentrate on. No, it didn't, Tracy. Did the earth move for anybody last night? She's asking. It means, I suppose, by rights, we ought to go and see and who's there and say good morning.
Yeah. So.
Oh, where is everybody?
Top to bottom or bottom to top, Marion?
Bottom to top.
Bottom to top. So I want to say a huge welcome and hello to Tracy. We will go back to your comment about the earth moving in a moment.
Yeah.
And good morning, Marion. Lovely to see you. Good morning, Linda.
Yeah.
And good morning, Judy. And good morning, Janet.
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Janice, sorry. And good morning, Jackie. Probably working again.
Yes.
Good morning, Georgie. And good morning, Deborah. And good morning, Brigitte.
And Brigitte's already said it's 122.
Oh, so it's show 122, which is amazing. And I just want to say, I did actually see a little Facebook post last night, because apparently there was a little earthquake last night.
Was that?
This is what, yeah. So
He means.
what is really strange was I woke up about, I don't know whether it was 12 o'clock, and I woke up and I thought, oh, I've woken up for a reason. Best go to the bathroom. Don't know. So totaled off, went back to bed, had a couple of sips of my drink, and I was laid there. And then all of a sudden, I looked at my phone because I thought, I'm awake now. You know when sometimes you sort of think, oh, I need a drink or something like that in the night. And then sometimes you just think, I don't know why I'm wide awake. I looked at my phone and Tracy had said about earthquake again. So I don't know if there was the mini earthquake again, but I looked on my phone, couldn't see anything. But I just wondered if it had been an earthquake because I was so wide awake. You know, when something sort of shocks you into being awake, but I didn't hear it, didn't feel it, nothing.
12:30 last night, very early this morning, 2.2 on the Richter scale in Linslade. For the second time, I did not feel a thing.
That's it. I woke up at about 12:30ish, and then it was about 1 o'clock, and I thought, I'm not responding to this text because I'm probably half asleep, not text, but Facebook, because who knows what predictive text will do. So that's why I don't respond when I've woken up. So I think we had another mini earthquake, and then my mind started going, thinking, has somebody given a company fracking rights, you know, for taking things out of, because that's 2 in the last week, which is rather unusual. So so I think I subliminally noticed it because it woke me up. Well, something woke me up about 12:30, and I don't know what it was. So hey ho.
I mean, Judy, did you hear anything? I mean, I'm like Judy. I'm actually in Linslade, but nothing, absolutely nothing.
Were you awake at that time, Marion, or were you?
Yes.
You were. Oh, so maybe it was more over my way because I'm not far from Tracy. But yeah, it was a bit unusual. So anyway, anything can happen, can't it? Especially at the moment. So should we have a look and see what's happening in the chat?
Yes, well, I do a bit of frogging. Here's me doing the simplest thing imaginable.
Actually, do you know what? I'm thinking we haven't listened to any music yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
So I tell you what, before we look at the chat, let's have a look at today's music. Now, I do not know what Robert has chosen for us. So let's have a look. He did say it was all queued after 7 o'clock this morning. So if you want to place yourself on
yes.
mute and today's musical interlude. That, do you know what? I have never ever seen who actually sings that video.
No, who was it? Who was it?
I don't know. I don't know. But that's from Beverly Hills Cop, isn't it? I think.
Yes. In the 1980s, going by the hairstyle.
And I have to be really, really careful whenever I heard that in the car because it makes me want to go quickly. So that's why I have to try and turn it off or try not to speed because it's just one of those things that I think it's one of those great bits of music which I'm sure if we actually said who got done for speeding for which tunes, there will be certain tunes that are playing more often than others, and that's the one one of them that I absolutely love, but not an unattractive singer. So I might have to see who that was. For some reason, it's not Steve Winwood, is it? Who is it? I'm going to actually have a look.
Well, whilst you have a look, shall I go through the chat?
That'd be brilliant.
Okie doke. And I didn't eat a frog. I just couldn't count to 5. But Deborah's saying good morning. Morning, Deborah. And Brigitte, 122. Judy's saying good morning. Linda's saying happy Monday, one and all. Yes, with the sun shining like it is a very happy Monday. Janice is saying hi all. Richard's just brought me another cup of tea, not from the Gogglefrogs mug. Thank you, love. And he didn't believe me when I said there was an earthquake in Linslade at 12:30 this morning, 2.2 on the Richter scale. No, it wasn't me. Positive. Don't be so rude. Right, and I've said to Linda, Georgie, good morning, with lots of kisses after it. Tracy's saying, did the earth move for anyone last night? I think Richard preempted that question a bit. Then Jackie says, good morning all. Hope you ate all doing well. Hope you are all doing well. I'm working and having IT problems. I've been locked out of my account due to my password having expired. No notification or anything. Currently on to our IT department, waiting for them to answer my call. Well, if it's anything like when I was at work, you could wait for hours. Well, that means you can do some knitting, Jackie, so that's all right.
Yeah.
Brigitte says, our yarns cost more than someone would be prepared to pay for an item. You're dead right there. I crocheted a corkscrew long scarf, ear warmer, headband with a flower and fingerless longish gloves for a granddaughter some time ago. All our friends at school went gaga, and the mums asked if I would make their girls a set. I said, okay, but it would be £35. Yarn was 25. Never heard a beam. You never do. Never do, because they all rate hand knitting as a cheap alternative. I'm totally with you there. Tracy says, yes, another tremor at 12:30 this morning. 2.2 on the Richter scale at Linslade. Brigitte says that Tracy, that there was unusually small aftershocks. I didn't feel anything, says Georgie, but Nick reckons it was aftershocks. Tracy says it wasn't as large as last time, and I thought I was going mad at first. And I saw all the posts on Facebook. People did report feeling it in Leighton and Lindsay, and yes, probably aftershocks. Judy says she didn't feel it, but she did wake up around that time. Can't claim to notice that the earth moved. And Georgie say she really enjoyed the music. And Jackie says if only she had her knitting upstairs with me, it's downstairs. And Brigitte says, Jackie, go and get it. We'll wait for you. We'll go and pause, my love. And
I put the phone on loudspeaker so you know when they've answered. And you can yes, 1 minute. And just to let you know that was by Glenn Fry or Frey. I think we pronounce it Fry, F-R-E-Y. And that, yeah. So, and it's written by Harold Faltermeyer and Glenn Forsey. So Beverly Hills Cop, don't know which one, but it was in 1984. So yeah.
The hairstyles gave it away somewhat.
I know. I did love hair back then. What was it? Everybody had inset hairspray, didn't they, for the biggest hair possible. Do you know what? I used to have perms all the time in the 80s. I didn't even realise that I had curly hair. It's only I know your hair can change, but it's only now that I sort of leave it that I realised it was curly and actually goes curly if I don't straighten it. So all those years I had a perm and I could have just used a few little products and got curly hair.
She's up here.
Hello. Good morning.
He's looking for you.
Ollie.
No, his tail's going. Now he's looking downstairs at the back door and wondering who's there.
So if you didn't know, that's Ollie. who comes in every so often, we normally just get Ollie's tail. That's what we see of Ollie. So
he's very warm. He's been lying outside already.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, I went out earlier, and I think it's going to be a beautiful day. So I think we've, well, me and my mum will move the settee to the middle of the garden because it's really nice when you've got the, when you're actually on the grass, isn't it, rather than on the concrete. So we'll move that into the garden and have another really nice day. Yeah.
Well, Brigitte says that she likes your hair on straightened, Angela, and I must admit I agree with her. And Tracy says hers only went curly 3 years ago, and her hairdresser says it's hormonal.
It could be. Yeah. I always remember though when I was young, I think everybody has longish hair, don't they, in a fringe. And I was always annoyed that why half of my fringe went up a little bit more and why my hair wasn't perfectly straight, why I had these kinks in it. But I think because I just brushed it all the time, that's why you wash your hair and suddenly it's straight. Whereas now I tend to brush my hair while I've got the conditioner in, and then I don't brush it again. And that's why it goes nice and curly. Although the other morning I did actually brush it, and I thought, no, we're going to blow dry your hair straight, or just let it go straight. Do you know what? I brushed the blooming thing. Within 5 minutes, the curls were back.
Well, I had all my hair shaved off for my surgery. It went through white, apart from a tiny little grey bit at the back, and it's grown through with these kinks every so often. And they drive me around the bend, but I can't exactly have a perm to make them straight.
I know.
I am what I am.
Yeah. Right, there we go. Sorry, I'm just on, when you're on that row. This is the simplest row. It really is. But I still have to count and make sure it's going right.
Well, I'm due to go to the hairdressers next week, and I'm seriously considering leaving it this sort of length, because this funny bit here is almost sort of going so that I can have it flat, if you know what I mean. So
right.
Just get it trimmed off so that it's neat, and then let it grow a bit more. I don't know. Richard's just said he'll take a strimmer to it.
Oh no, you need weight in it though, don't you, in your hair to show all the lovely little kinks and curls that you have in it.
That's just it. It also grew back a lot thinner than it was. So,
yeah.
Oh, thank you. Except for the thick bits, my husband says. The thickest bit is right round in the nape of the neck. But the bit on the top of the head is considerably thinner than it used to be.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's because that's where the trauma was.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I tell you something else about hair as well that I've only just thought about. I've always had, because I'm darker than this, so I've always had, they've always used bleach in colour for me, which I know does affect your hair, whereas for quite a lot of years now, the one I've been going to, they use no bleach at all. It's just a high lift tint with no bleach. So I think for the first time in years, my hair has gone practically back to its normal texture.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what they can do now. Sort of, yeah, it's just a natural tint, which is amazing to get it blonde out of it. But yeah, and I think then it's so much, like my hair's really long now, really, really long. And when you straighten it, it's even longer. So it's quite interesting. So great that now we don't have to have half of the Well, I know it's still chemicals, but not quite as bad, not the peroxide stuff that we used to use. So that's probably why it goes curlier as well.
Who saw my granddaughter recently, Elora? So I'm sure somebody on here saw her recently with her long hair. Was it you, Angela?
No.
Was it Claire? I can't remember, but she's got the most amazing curly hair and really thick, and she straightens it. She every morning before she goes to school.
I know. We
To the hairdresser. What, a cut and blow dry an hour? Nah, hour and a half for her.
She's got really, really thick hair. You've mentioned about her hair before, haven't you?
And fine.
Yeah. Wow. Which is fabulous.
But she doesn't think so. She thinks it's a pain.
Oh, whatever we have, we're never happy with.
Like what?
Oh. So anyway, I was saying earlier, I'll just have a chat with you. I know Marion's chatting with Richard, but how easy or how hard is it to start a little simple project? So I started a little project yesterday using this, the Gogglefrogs, the exclusive Gogglefrogs, because it's one of a kind. And I started that on Dawn's scarf. And when I started it, I suddenly thought, I don't want something going that way around there. I want something going long. So today I was actually looking online and I managed to find myself a pattern. It's just, you know, when you look at the wool that you've got, I'm just trying to, do you know, I probably won't be able to find it again. I'll have a quick look and see if I can find it.
Richard was just saying that on the news, this is what he came up to say, that Wetherspoons are reporting that 66 members of staff out of 41,000 have tested positive for COVID. Not that they're going to do anything about it.
I am going to say this. We all saw how they treated their staff.
Yeah.
And it's not somewhere that I think, oh, beautiful food, let me go in there. Although it is nice to be able to go somewhere and get something which is very cheap. Let's face it, you don't get your food and say that's disgusting, but you don't say that's the beautiful meal. Right. And I just think that's another example of profit over people, and it's something I can't really support. So if ever a knitting group was set up in a Wetherspoons, if I end up walking in there not realising it's a Wetherspoons, I apologise now, but that's me. I'm sorry. I just can't go there. I just... Normally, what you'd expect an employer to say is, okay, how's this happened? What do we need to do? What about our customers? What about our staff? How do we protect them? Do we need to change anything that we're doing? But everything that I've heard from people is there's when social distancing, etc., it's not really clear how good they are. I went in somewhere the other day, and I'm not joking. I sat down. It was all table service. That's Olivia's in the centre of town. It was beautiful, able to sit outside, which I prefer because then we have lots of fresh air around us as well. Where else did we go? We went to the little pub up in Wing. Is it the Queen's Head? Again, lovely there, able to sit outside, have lots of fresh air. And I just think, do you know what? Stop packing your people in. It was interesting when I was sat outside Olivia's, before they really opened, the staff were measuring the tables. So they must have to put them out every morning. So they're measuring them to make sure that they're, if it's, you know, whatever. So it's just really nice to see that companies are looking at, okay, well, not everything's 2 meters away, but what does it need to be?
The house has been very good.
Yeah.
You go in, please sanitize your hands. Have you been with us before? Do you know how we're operating? please fill in one of these with your details. And you've got to say your name, what time you came in, what time, what table number you're on. They do want you to go to the bar and order, but they want you to wear a mask up to the bar. And there's only one place at the bar you can order. They will bring the food to you, but even if you get up and go to the bathroom, they expect you to put your mask on, and they will tell you if you don't.
Oh, really?
They have barred a couple of people for not following the rules. They have, and their staff have to sign in. They get thermometer checked as they go in. So yeah, I mean, for a chain, I know they're not as big as Wetherspoons. For a chain, they are looking after their staff considerably more than Wetherspoons are.
Yeah, and I know that, you know, not everybody is going to show even a temperature, but let's face it, you can't do a physical test every morning on your staff, but if they're doing that, then that's good. And that's what we should be doing. So, you know, that's really good to know. I'm just, it's interesting that some of my friends are saying, I'm doing what my insurance company say I need to do and more, and what the government say I need to do and more. And then there's other companies that I just think, how are you adhering to it? So, but it's really good that we've got so many locally that are doing really well. And I really feel for people whose employers don't put that much respect on them as they're the people that allow a company to make the money, aren't they? Your employees, your frontline people who are serving people, and they have amazing staff. They really do. It's not about the people. It's just it really grates on me when somebody doesn't say, we've got a problem here, how do we try and solve it? That's all we want to hear from the boss of that company. And yet again, they failed. In my eyes, anyway. That's only my opinion. But like you said, there's other companies being so good, you know, checking the temperature every day, doing everything they can, making their staff, and let's face it, this can't be that comfortable for staff, making their staff challenge people, customers who aren't adhering to the new rules. So, you know, good on them.
A couple of people have got up and walked out the picture house because they thought the rules were too stringent, and I'm thinking, good on you, good on the staff. Georgie, going back to hair, Tracy, no, that was Tracy. Angela said her hair's got Georgie said her hair's got curlier as she's got older, and Brigitte says she's never had straight hair. When she had a Cilla Black hairstyle, I stuck the points with sellotape under my cheeks at night. And Anne says her hair is straight, does not do curls. But hello, Anne. I don't think we saw you in.
Sorry, yeah, I'll check and see who's popped in to say hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Anne.
Brigitte says people with straight hair want curls. Those with curls want it straight. You're dead right there.
And hello to Sandra as well. Hello, Sandra.
And Sandra's saying, let's not forget how Wetherspoons treat their staffs. You're right there. What was it he said? Their owner, go and get jobs in the fields, or
no, they can go and stack shelves in Tesco's
or something.
Do you know what? They do work hard. They work so hard in that chain. I just think it's a real shame that.
Yeah, well, if they haven't got enough people in there and more staff than they need because they book more staff on and they're suddenly not as busy as they thought, they'll send people home. Linda says we should boycott them. What a disgraceful company to work for. Yep. Janice says, my friends and I use Wetherspoons to meet up, to go to the pictures, or at least we used to, as it's convenient, as you can get alcohol or whatever. And a meal if you want, but not a gastronomic experience. Like that word, gastronomic. And Anne says that we don't have a Wetherspoons near us. Well,
Yeah.
I must say, in Weatherspoon's defence, as far as Leighton Buzzard is concerned, they did convert that eyesore in the High Street, the Swan. But that's all I can say in their defence.
Oh,
Apparently, the rooms there are very nice, but yet again, that's all I can say. I've never stayed there.
yeah. I think they did very well as a company, and they had an amazing brand, booking the trend, um, making money where most they were expanding, where most were reducing. But I think now we've seen that at the cost of what, and that's the thing that irks me about our certain parts of our industry and economy, that we should really value people a little bit more, or rather certain companies and bosses should. So that's what irks me. And when we look at Europe, I think there's certain countries there that really do have stronger rules around looking after their employees. So that's just. But anyway, never mind.
It's really done a Ratner's. Is anybody else old enough to remember what Ratner did? I can't remember his first.
I do. The comment of
his company went way.
What did he say about them? I wouldn't buy this rubbish or this tut.
Something like that.
There was a phrase, and you just think, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, if you wouldn't, then change the quality, change the price, and then you wouldn't have a company.
My wedding and engagement ring. Well, we got our wedding rings and my engagement ring from there, but we have replaced them over the years.
But at the time, they were a really good company, weren't they?
Very reasonable for what they were, you know.
I still have. When I was young and I was at school, probably junior school, I remember for one of my birthdays or Christmas, I don't know what it was, I got a silver signet ring, because signet rings were really trendy back then. I don't know, people don't get them now. But yeah, and I've still got that one. Although I will say that it did snap. I don't know why, but we were at swimming one day and I jumped on the top of, where the we were trying to climb along, that where you open and shut the door thing along the top, like the rail. I jumped on that and it actually cut my hand of my ring. So never mind. But we shouldn't have been trying to jump around like that, should we? But yeah. But I still got the ring from Ratner's. It is broken, but I've still got it.
Yeah, I still wear it. I lost the engagement ring in the filing at work.
Oh,
it just came off. Luckily, though, it wasn't a diamond, a solitaire. It was a cubic zirconia. And I do remember, you have reminded me, that I had this colleague who lived in Harpenden. We were in St. Albans. She had one of those big houses on the common. You know the sort I mean, one of these big houses on the common. And she goes to me, because she knew we'd just bought our council house. And she goes, and how come you've got a diamond that big? It's a rather nice diamond, isn't it, Marion? And I go, this is a cubic zirconia. Burst bubbles. But she was a bit of a snob back then. I mean, what we're talking, the early 80s. Her idea of a holiday was to fly to Bermuda. I mean, who did that in the early 80s? And she and her husband would go for 3 weeks. He was let me get this right, what was he? He was the tax manager at Barclays Bank. And by tax manager, I sort of mean their tax director. So, yeah.
wow.
Yeah. They were a nice couple, but she could be very snobbish.
Oh, well, I've just had a look at the time. I'm going to go on to our Facebook group.
What is it, Mash Up Monday?
Yeah, it is. So let's have a look and see what we've got in the group. So if you can see this, I cannot believe
Oh, that's
this,
gorgeous.
Deborah. Got to the decreases on my hat last night, hoping to finish later today. Lovely day here. My brother is coming for lunch. Wow, haven't seen him since Feb. So not only do you have a beautiful creation about to come off the needles, isn't it? Because it's not going to be on there for very long until you've finished it. That is so intricate. And you're having food again, Deborah. Lovely lunch again. That's beautiful though, isn't it, Marion?
It's absolutely fantastic. When did you do? Started it last week, was it?
It's not long. Deborah is so quick. Says you though.
Mine's only plain. Mine's only plain.
So that is beautiful. Well done. Yeah, Robert says he's not with us today. He'll try tomorrow. If not, see you Friday. Does he mean Wednesday? Wednesday night, I think so. Yes, never mind. And Dawn says some lovely lace patterns from Mason Dixon Knitting. The ebook is available for $9, approximately £7. ModerndailyKnitting.com. Oh, and they do a series of books in ink. So modern day knitting. So that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Modern lace. That looks very interesting lace. I'm not going to click on it because sometimes you never know what it links to. So I'm going to leave you to click on that in the group. And if you're not already a member of the group, it's Gogglefrogs Knit and Natter in Facebook. Tracy confirmed it was Frogagoo. And it's the close to you pattern, and that's a picture that we showed on Saturday. So I love the Frogagoo, I really do. It's beautiful. And this was the blanket that we showed on Saturday for Attic 24's latest blanket, which is lovely. And then we'll go
by that very quickly.
Sorry?
I'm glad you scrolled by that very quickly.
Yeah. This was, I was asking about Fair Isle, how people cope with having 2, 3, 4, however many. I just find it really annoying. I can't stand things getting wound round each other. That was just on Saturday. So Deborah's gone from that to getting onto the decreases now. I'm just going to go through. Oh, that's the Frogagoo. She's frogged a little bit. I did
like the playful scarf, or was it the playful scarf? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's called Close to You.
That's the one.
Yeah, and I love the colours. The colours look absolutely amazing.
I thought I'd do that next.
What I didn't notice so much in the Frogagoo when we were looking at the colours and the palettes, etc., you don't realise how that peachy orange is going to come out. And for me, that is really standing out. It's lovely. But interestingly enough, last night I started that in this. And that's the one that when I started it, I thought, no, it's not showing this wool as I want it to, because there's a little bit of sparkle in it. It's 2/3 black, 1/3 yellow. So I'm going for a new one. I've just downloaded it. I've just bought it this morning. So I'll show you, and that's going to be what I'm using. But it's got, trust me, I've gone for something that's got a whole picot edge, and this is me who doesn't like a picot edge. But it was so lovely. I just thought, no, that's exactly what I want to show the colours of that off. So yeah, that will be done in a. I am definitely going to do that, but in a slightly different yarn, I think. I've got a beautiful purple that I bought years and years ago that may look nice in that. So I really love that.
I have a grey with colours in that I bought earlier this year that I think I've got earmarked for that Close to You. I think that will be coming out for that.
Oh, really?
Oh,
wow.
But I've got a shawl to do for my aunt first. Deborah's saying that she's not always so quick, my hat. It's the first time she's ever attempted a Fair Isle brown pattern. Needs concentration, but I'm doing okay, I think. Well, going by the pictures, Deborah, you are doing more than okay.
Those were my exact words going through my mind as well. Doing really well. And then this is from Jeannie, which is Joe. My niece can go into labour any time she likes now. I've finished making these. Aren't they beautiful?
Absolutely.
They are stunning. And there's the blanket as well that she did as well. That's from last week. I think we went through that as well. Ron Weasley jumper. And I think that's all.
I've downloaded that pattern. I'm pretty.
Oh, have you?
No, I didn't. I've downloaded one very similar, a charity one. Earmark some yarn for that as well.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can show you this pattern that I've. Let's show you this.
It's getting very warm in here.
Is it? So this is what I've downloaded.
Oh, that's lovely.
I saw that one first. So if you can see, it's like a picot edge all the way around. I thought, why am I downloading this? But it's when I saw it in that colour stripe. And I thought, no, I want the colours to go long ways in that rather than short ways. So
design called?
Huh?
What's the design called?
It is called Knit Night by Louise Zass Bangham.
Is that Knit Night NIGHT or NITE?
Knit KNIT and then NIGHT.
And that's from Ravelry?
Yes, it's £3, although for £4.50 you got 2 patterns. So I got or is this the one I've got there's one Knit Night and then there's another one there. So I thought I'd go for the £4.50 one because it's only £1.50 more and you get 2 different patterns. So when I downloaded it, it was quite interesting actually, because you can do it with a picot edge or not. You can do it with there's like holes around the edge or not. You can apply little beads if you want or not. So she designs patterns for very much a beginner, or if you want to do something more intricate, and it's all woven into the same pattern, which I thought was really interesting. So yeah, but the fact it's long ways. I know it'll take longer to do a row, but I'll see how it works. But it does look really pretty, really, really pretty. And I think hopefully it'll set that off as I want it to be set off.
That's exactly what Brigitte says. She thinks the pattern will suit your yarn. And I must admit, I'm inclined to agree with her. But I have so many shawl patterns that I don't know whether I've got time to do them all. I really don't.
I'm exactly the same. And the other thing I did this morning was I wound the bamboozle up thinking, well, do you know what? I can just do a cowl. I can just do a cowl, knitting it in the round. And it's so simple that on the fat bits of wool, you effectively purl it so it shows at the front. And then the rest of it, when it's thin wool, you knit it. And that's the pattern to get the maximum effect. Do you think I could find that, you know, the wire? Do you think I could find a wire that was less than a metre?
No. What size do you want?
Well, it said 6 on the. It said 6. So I found a 7 because let's face it, with this, it's not going to. The size of a needle isn't going to matter. But the only.
My 6s, otherwise I'd.
Yeah. I'll pop
Wednesday.
I'll pop into the shop and I'll just get a smaller one, but it's actually the middle wire. And I suddenly realised I don't have any small pliers. What's that?
Deborah's saying her attic 24 pack has arrived. That is very, very quick. And her husband Steve's out cycling. Brilliant timing.
Don't you just love it when that happens? And then you've got to get rid of all the evidence. I've had it for ages. Love that. Well done.
Sandra's saying that Starbucks and Greggs have behaved well during the epidemic. As always, Timpsons are tops for staff. Although their shops are shut, staff are on 100% pay.
Wow.
Then with Timpsons, am I right in saying, because
I think I know what you're going to say, and I think it's going to be a big yes.
That a lot of their staff are ex-prisoners.
Ex-offenders, yeah, they are absolutely in support of the Rehabilitation for Offenders register.
Yeah. So, and going back to Deborah and her comment, I'm on another knitting site, and there was a conversation about hiding yarn from our partners. And this lady, to every comment, said, "Is your husband abusive?" And needless to say, she's been asked to leave the group because in one of them, one of the ladies, her husband had just passed away.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was rather insensitive, to say the least, but to everybody. And it was meant to be a humorous, conversation. So just goes to show, doesn't it? Be a little bit careful what you say on Facebook, because it might come back to bite you on the bum.
And actually, the comment I just made about, and then get rid of all the packaging, it's because I do it, but I openly admit I do actually possess too much wool, but I still buy it. I've got a third of a garage absolutely full of it. I've got a tea chest absolutely full of it. I've got project bags full of it. I've got a front porch full of it. It's in my car boot. I've just gone out to my... Shall I give you an example of today? I went out to my car boot, and that is absolutely full of needles that I inherited from my late auntie. Plus, this from my late auntie. So there's a full set of smaller ones. Plus I've got my own bag of my own needles. Plus I've got a shoe box that somebody gave me of her mum's knitting needles that she never uses. So I openly admit I've got too much. My husband says not more, please, not more.
I think you've seen how much I've got, and that's not all of it. Deborah says that she's glad she made us laugh. She thinks everybody knows the feeling and no explaining is required. Anne says yarn is an obsession, but much better than drink, drugs or smoking. Leave out the drink, dear, because we all like the G&Ts, but none of us do it to excess. Deborah says, at Angela, you're not alone. My hubby knows it keeps me happy. Jackie says, must go now. Finally logged in and need to do some work. See you tomorrow. I'm going to show you my husband's obsession. Okay?
All right, yeah, that sounds fun.
Right? Can you see?
Hats. Oh, wow.
That is a cap for every place we have visited. There are more caps there than he could possibly wear. The only thing he's got over me is that takes up less room than my yarn.
Yeah, and my husband has football programs. So I have boxes and boxes of football programs, but my wall still takes up more room. Okay, so
that is part of the redecoration of our dressing room come office. So yeah, it's not quite finished. Just got the windowsill in here to be stained. Apart from that, it's done. It's done.
Oh, fab.
So, and it's cool in here, and Ollie's come up here to join us. Now, somebody said something. Oh, never mind. Brigitte says she's leather bookmarks, pens or pencils from everywhere she's been. Now, Jackie, I think, also buys a pen or pencil everywhere she goes. And Anne's got to go as she's going out for a garden meeting knitting group. First time since lockdown, limited to 6 people. We'll have a wonderful, wonderful time, Anne. And enjoy. Perfect day, absolutely perfect day for your.
It is. Just remember to take a cap so you don't get burnt.
And some cream.
Oh,
yeah, Jackie does. So and Brigitte says her husband understands her because he's usually got a stash of something somewhere. I mean, Richard used to have records, LPs and EPs.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but and books on tape and CD. You don't play tape so much now. It's mainly CDs, and some I could only get in the States.
Although I do have an old gramophone for 77s, 45s, and 33s, and that was from Alan's nan's shed. So it had been in the shed for about 20 years, brought it back here, and it works.
I went into John Lewis and I said, I'd like a record player, please, for this young man. And he went, pardon, madam? I said, I'd like a record player, please. And a more mature member of staff turned around and said, I think the lady would like a turntable.
Oh, so funny. So funny.
Yeah.
And we're just at 11:01, but I'm just going to go and say, Deborah says they're off to Suffolk in the camper van tomorrow. We drive right past Stamford, so we might pop in quickly to have a peek. Absolutely fantastic. There will be more work done there as well before we go, but it's going to be fantastic. We can't wait. We can't wait for the event. So yes, please do. Tracy says, I'm glad Marcus is away as he can't see the yarn I've been ordering, lol. Plus have 2 huge boxes full in our bedroom at the moment as I can't fit them in the spare room. There's too much in there too. That's so funny. We're all like that. Deborah's laughing. And Brigitte says, thank you for entertaining us again this morning, ladies. Yeah, we're 11:02 now, so it is time to go.
A photograph of my needles and what's hanging up in my new craft room. That should make you smile.
Good. Well, I want to say thank you so much for today, and I will be back at 10 o'clock tomorrow. I may be flying solo tomorrow, but who knows? There will be wool, there will be a drink, and I will chat. And you're more than welcome to join me, Marion. It is totally up to you. And can I just say a big thank you, Marion, who has created the pond shirt, and we will be sharing that with you soon. Okay, so thank you so much, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Take care, everybody, and enjoy the sunshine.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.